Hey, this is Drumjitsu coming at you with another knife review, and today I want to talk about the unsung hero of the Byrd line, the Byrd Flight plain clip point blade with the G10 handles. And in my last review I talked about the Raven here and how the Flight and the Raven are very similar. As far as the materials used to make them, the blades are both made out of the 8CR13 MOV. They both have G10 handles. This is a liner lock. The Raven is a liner lock. The Flight is a lock back, but they're similar in size, but they're not similar in quality. The exact same materials are used to make both of these blades, and the Flight is superior in every way, cosmetically and just functionality, primarily cosmetically. And it's just a thicker, beefier, tougher all-around kind of knife. It kind of puts me in a mind of a Buck 110. Excellent knife. I want to talk about a few key features of this knife. I'm not really going to get into specs. I mean, you can read the spec sheets and read the internet, but there's not a lot of reviews on this knife, and I've carried it for about 2 months, and I just want to say, man, it is a great knife. It feels great in the hand. It cuts well. It came sharp out of the box, very sharp. I've only had to sharpen it once, and I've used it constantly over the course of the last few months, and I've carried it every day for 2 months. Excellent. I've used it for a variety of tasks. A lot of different cutting tasks. It is a great knife. I got it for $25, no shipping on Amazon.com, and that special has recently run its course. Right now you can get it for $25, but you got to pay $5 shipping. I got it for $25, no shipping, which is a great deal. And basically what I want to talk about here is, do you get your money's worth from this knife? Yes, I believe that you do. Great quality knife for the money. You get a lot of bang for the buck here. It's nice, it's beefy, it cuts well, it's easy to sharpen, it feels good in the hand, forward grip here, and reverse grip. It even feels pretty good reverse grip. This could definitely be used in a variety of cutting tasks. It's kind of thin. So, I mean, it looks big for an EDC knife, and some people might think it's too big for an EDC knife, but it will make a great hunting knife, and a good EDC knife for people who like, like I said, the Buck 110. If you like the Buck 110, this will be a good cheap alternative to that. Very nice. It has all the things on it that the Buck 110 doesn't have, which is a pocket clip and G10 scales and a $25 price tag. Those are the 3 things I wish that a Buck 110 had. If the Buck 110 did have those things, I'd be talking about it right now. So it's kind of like a Buck 110 with a pocket clip, G10 scales, and a $25 price tag, which I love. This handle shape, it's got a slight curve, downward slope in the rear here, and it's great. It's almost kind of got this K-bar TDI vibe to it. It could be used in definitely cutting and slashing, or, piercing. So it would make a good secondary tactical defense blade. Just a great all-around knife. If you could only choose, if you had to choose between the Raven and the Flight, I'm putting my money on the Flight, definitely. And if I had to buy the Raven over again, I would probably go with the aluminum handles. I like the knife, and I tweaked it out, and it's really good, so I like it a lot, but I would probably go with the aluminum handles, just because the only problem I really have with this knife now that I've worked on it is just aesthetically. I don't like the quality of the G10. It's not the same as these other knives, and I'm going to use a term called tenacious quality. We all know what the tenacious is all about. It's pretty much everything I want in a knife. I love everything about this knife. It's excellent. It's fantastic. And these other Byrd knives have tenacious quality. Their quality is very similar to the tenacious. The Raven does not have that. It does not have that. I don't think you're getting bang for your buck. The Flight does in fact have that. There is no jimping here on the spine. I want to talk about that. And there's no finger choil. You can't really put your finger in there. But other than that, it does feel great in the hand. It's got the boy dent, of course. And the pocket clip, I think, is fantastic. It's not too tight, and it is skeletalized there. And it is reversible, so you can go right hand or left hand, tip up only. But still, the Raven doesn't have that. Like I said, if you're going to make a choice between the Flight and the Raven, definitely go with the Flight. And that's pretty much what I wanted to cover in this video. Is, you know, if you were only going to spend your money in one direction, I would put my money on the Flight. And when I purchased the Raven, you know, there weren't a lot of videos on the Flight, so I didn't really get to see the side-by-side comparison. The deployment on this knife is stiff. It's really kind of tough to get out. I may just have to take it apart and get in there and work on it a little bit, but it doesn't bother me. I like it, and I've kind of left it that way. It hasn't really been an issue for me. It might be an issue for some. Just kind of expect that when you get it. I have noticed that the deployment on a lot of these Byrd knives is incredibly stiff. Not up to tenacious quality. Very stiff on the Meadowlark. The Robin, however, not so stiff. Feels pretty good. Pocket clips. Each one of them has a different pocket clip. This one's got a satin finish. This one's skeletalized and it's nice and flexible. And this one is shiny and stiff. And on this small one here, it's black and kind of stiff. But with this pocket clip, you might actually want to paint it black on a knife this big. It is very noticeable in the pocket. That's the one thing that I noticed by carrying this knife, and I didn't really like that too much. It kind of stuck out, you know. So I actually did get a few looks while I was carrying this knife. It kind of draws attention. It's nice and shiny and big. So big and shiny, people tend to look at it. Other than that, I have no qualms about it. All in all, I like the Byrd line a lot, but you know, for the price that I spent on these four knives here, I could have got, you know, an Endura or a couple of Delicas. And you got to ask yourself that question. If you're a person who only maybe buys one knife a year or just wants one really good knife that's going to last a long time, the Byrd knives might not really be what you're looking for. Other than that, they are good all-around knives. I really wouldn't give them as a gift. I'd probably give a Kershaw Skyline. Amazon.com, $30 right now, no shipping. So that definitely falls in the same price range as these other knives here. This is the Damascus blade. It was about $56. You can get the same knife, satin finish, made in USA, great EDC knife, excellent EDC knife, especially for someone who's not really into knives, or if you're going to give this knife as a gift, this would be something I'd be proud to give as a gift, a nice American-made, excellent pocket knife. Kershaw. Probably wouldn't give a Byrd knife. They're fun for me because, you know, I'm a knife person, but other than that, and I'm going to use them. These are user knives. I don't want to say beater knives, but they're meant to be used and abused. Like I said, you know, I really wouldn't buy these knives and then display them as a collector. I really wouldn't consider these collectible pieces. I really wouldn't collect Byrd knives. Each one of these knives I only bought because I had a specific role for them already in mind when I purchased these knives. I don't just buy knives because I like them or because they're fancy. You know, I want to buy a knife that I'm going to use, that's going to get a lot of use out of, and each one of these knives I have a particular place for. And I just want to be sure that, you know, when people are spending their money, they know what they're getting. And it's very hard to look at pictures on the internet and know exactly what you're in for. With the Byrd Flight, definitely 2 thumbs up. The Meadowlark, 2 thumbs up. I love this robin a lot. All of these represent what I call tenacious quality. Love the tenacious and the persistence very much. The Raven, if I had it to do over again, and maybe not so much. A good example of an inexpensive $20 knife is this Smith & Wesson First Response. Excellent knife. I don't even need to use the thumb stud. $20 knife. I love it. I've carried it every day for months and months and months and love it and use it all the time. The blade is sharp. I've cut everything with this. I've even cut sushi with it. It's a fantastic knife. It's a cheap knife. The only thing I don't like about this knife is blade retention. Blade retention is virtually zero, virtually non-existent. Other than that, it's a $20 knife that I love to death and use the heck out of it. So that's kind of what I want to make sure we as consumers get when we purchase a Byrd knife. Are we getting our money's worth? For the most part, yeah, I say that we are. There are a few things to be, you know, to watch out for. Other than that, my only disappointment out of this whole batch was the Raven. And at this point, it's just primarily cosmetically. The G10 just really bugs me, and I'm having a hard time getting over it, although I do like the knife a lot. And it is made out of exactly the same materials as every other knife here on the table. And I just really don't feel like it's Byrd quality, and it's not tenacious quality at all. And I think these other knives, the Flight, I give it 2 thumbs up. Fantastic alternative to the Raven. And just a fantastic all-around knife in its own right. I love it a lot. The Meadowlark, very cool. Medium-sized utility knife. There's plenty of reviews on the internet. And the Robin, excellent little knife. Great work knife. I can bust it out in front of people and not freak anybody out. So, all of these other knives I like. They have similar quality to the Tenacious. So, that about covers it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for your time. Out.